What's up, everyone? Today I'm going to be talking about that song, All About That Bass by Meghan Trainor, that everyone's heard about now. It's one of those mainstream songs, and I mean, it's everywhere. If you're in the United States or United Kingdom, Canada, you've probably heard the song. It's pretty huge, and basically if you haven't heard it, just search it on YouTube. All About That Bass. It's basically a song about um, it's promoting the fact that every inch of you is perfect, that everyone's beautiful, and it seems all fine and dandy. Except there's just quite not just some, quite a lot of controversy in the fact that although it's a very catchy tune, there seems to be what people are labeling it as skinny shaming, in the fact that oftentimes it's referencing the other party, in this case, skinny people, with a lot of negative connotations, such as, quote, skinny bitches, or silicone Barbie dolls, or that ain't real, and Photoshop, and stuff like that. And so I'm here to voice my opinions on this whole thing. First off, I very much like the song. It's very catchy. But as far as this sort of the terms that were used, I don't think those were necessary at all, because you can promote your own belief, and promote the fact that everyone's beautiful, which is a great message, without bringing negative connotations to the other party. And I feel like what happened and how she ended up saying these things was sort of just subconscious, and not really a primary thing. It just sort of like she wrote it, and it just sort of happened, and that's just how her mentality slipped out, not really realizing how wrong it was until it sort of became too late. But I really do think that's one of the things that people should look out for, because you can promote your own party without tearing down the other party, and you could have just avoided all those phrases and just promoted yourself, and that would have been all fine and dandy. And instead, she sort of singled her party out in a way, and said, okay, we're not all the same people, we're different categories. This is my category, and that's yours, and I'm going to give that category negative connotations. Now, is that completely her fault? No. Again, I feel like a lot of what she said and done is more of a subconscious response to how society and culture has sort of ingrained it into her, which is also not a good thing. And what society and culture has ingrained in her and other people, other portly people, is the fact that, hey, we are two categories, and we are so much better than you. Skinny people are so much better than non-skinny people, and that's so wrong. And I feel like that's so wrong, and because of that, she has sort of ingrained that herself and subconsciously agreed to it, and said, you're right, we are two different categories. So I feel like I failed in explaining that clearly, but long story short, I do think that what she could have done better is chosen not to agree with that, and said, okay, I don't agree with that whole idea that we're two categories. We're all same people, but I do have to admit that we do get categorized, and because of that, I can promote myself without shaming them back. Like, you don't have to continue that process of fighting fire with fire. That's sort of like doing the same thing to them. And so, long story short, I very much loved the whole song. I first saw it on Jimmy Fallon. It was really great, completely awesome in my opinion. The whole thing. She did. Jimmy Fallon. If you don't know, it's a talk show. You can see certain clips of his episodes on YouTube, and one of the things he does is he gets a famous singer who has a famous song in the current age, and he sings the song with them, with his band The Roots, and they all do it to classroom instruments. And it's really cool because you see like the professionalism with how they perform, and they still make the song rock really well because of how professional they are, and because they know how to play the notes properly in the right key and everything. And it comes out pretty good even though they're classroom instruments. And if you guys don't know, I've studied piano for over 10 years privately, and so I know a little bit about music. So it's pretty awesome. And you know, she's very talented. You can tell she knows a little bit about music herself, just based on how she sings a song and everything. Her tone's great. She can sing. You know, a lot of people don't realize this, but a lot of up and coming musicians, and some who are already successful, like Kesha, you know, love it or hate it. But these type of people, they've been subtly introducing this thing where they rap and sing, and they're blurring the lines between it. Now, a decade ago, Nelly was one of the first people to do this to an extent where he was more so a rapper that started sing rapping. So he would rap these somewhat complicated rap songs with not really complicated, but intricate rap songs with a lot of words, and infuse a lot of tone and melody to it, which was you know, awesome, revolutionizing. And now it seems like, you know, with Meghan Trainor and Kesha and other such musicians, they're more so singing, and then they throw in a little bit of rap, and then occasionally they'll throw in a mix of the two, more so on the rap side, or more so on the singing side. And so it is very interesting, and you know, generally the whole message is great. I feel like generally, you know, the overwhelming majority has a positive opinion of the song. From what I can tell, plenty of females are blasting it on the radio, because most of the population, the great majority, are far from that silicone Barbie doll image. So a lot of people are pretty ordinary, and a lot of females are, you know, somewhat overweight, or just, you know, somewhat average people, and they're dancing and loving the song. And you know, I found it's a really catchy song myself, but I do think that just because of the nature of how it is, how mainstream it's become, you will generate hate, especially when you end up categorizing stuff like this. So yes, if you go to any of her videos on this topic, there's a ton of debate in the comments on it. And honestly, you know, first off, beauty is subjective to the extent that, like, I'm sure plenty of people think she's very attractive, and I think she's pretty cute in certain ways. And I definitely think that I'm hoping she has more in store. I'm sure she has more in store in terms of being a singer-songwriter, but we'll see if she ends up getting more hits. But whether or not that happens or not, I encourage you guys to check out her other songs that she will be releasing in the future, not just, you know, be a typical mainstream writer and just listen to whatever's the top of the charts right now, even if it's just one song from different people. I mean, it's sometimes good to research these singers. But yeah, I am sort of a mainstream guy, if you guys are wondering. Anyhow, that's all we want to say in a nutshell. Again, there is a little bit of hate, and also, again, it would have been hard. I mean, I don't think would the song have made as much impact if she had cut those words out completely and replace those statements and lyrics with something more neutral. Um, Perhaps not, but again, unfortunately, the lyrics and the song is somewhat subconsciously promoting that whole sort of categorization, which I don't think is completely true. I don't think most or all skinny girls, even the models, um, are haters as well. I do think that society as a whole, there's plenty of superficial people. Like I know for sure that racism against ethnic groups is not gone completely for sure from experience. Um, I mean, just check out my video on Omegle, where I went on Omegle as myself. There's a lot of Asian racism. Although, heck, if you go on Omegle or Chat Roulette, there's a lot of trolling and just people just completely free to the winds because they can get away with it. But still, uh, that's just how society works. I think it's part of evolution. Is it right? I don't. I mean, you know, there's a lot of gray areas there. So yeah, this video is more so just to deliver the message to you, and it gets very controversial. So that's all we want to say in a nutshell. As always, like, favorite, comment, subscribe. Um, and no matter what happens, I mean, Megan Trainor's used the best of what she has, and she's doing pretty well. And I feel like she's pretty happy about how far she's gone with this song. So, at the end of the day, it's great for her. As always, like, favorite, comment, subscribe, and I think that's an inspiration at the end of the day. No matter who's arguing in the comments below, at the end of the day, I feel like they use the best of what they can have, and this world's shown that nowadays, in this day and age, you can achieve great things if even if you're not society standard. I'm definitely not the tall, dark, and handsome. And you can achieve great things even if you don't fall into that model standard of the perfect guy or perfect girl. And I do think, though, we should, we should at the very least try not to fight fire with fire and subconsciously agree to their categorizations through our behaviors or actions. So don't just agree to the standard of, oh, it's me versus them, skinny versus non-skinny. Come on. That's all we really want to say. As always, like, favorite, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.